Hey, I'm Dr. Nat, and this is Natty by Nature, plant to plate gardening, foraging, and cooking. And I know it feels like end times right now with all the coronavirus panic going around, but the best thing we can do is stay calm and look at the resources that we have locally to us. So I'm going to be talking about a bunch of antiviral plants as well as mood boosting plants that you can use that you'll probably find growing all around your house, regardless of where you live in the world. Right now we're here in Honolulu, Oahu in Hawaii, and I'm standing under my elderflower tree, which is going to be part of my series of antiviral plants. This plant grows kind of all over the world. So we're going to go over the 5 C's: the characteristics, the climate, the cautions, the cultivation, and the cooking of it. So that's an easy mnemonic for you to remember all the things. So first of all, characteristics, where it grows and what it looks like. So generally, elder grows in pretty wet climates. It grows all the way from Scandinavia to here in the tropics. I've seen it in the middle of Central Park in New York City, and even down in Lima in Peru. As long as it's wet, it doesn't seem to care that much if it's that hot or that cool. Maybe it likes it a little bit cooler than the middle of the Amazon. So we have it growing back here next to our banana patch that in the back of the garden that kind of captures all the water. It is a tree or shrub, so they get to be maybe like 10-15 feet. Its main characteristic of the leaves are these compound leaves. So that means that this is one leaf right here. These individual things are called leaflets. What's more important than that is that it has these toothed edge leaves, and they're kind of standard leaf shape. They're not weird like a oak or a maple or a sycamore or anything like that. When it has flowers, it's not flowering right now unfortunately, but there are these umbels of white flowers. An umbel is like an umbrella. It's kind of umbrella shaped and maybe about that big around. Those will eventually turn into berries in the fall. The flowers will come out in the late summer, like July and August, and then in the fall you'll see the umbels still of purple or black berries. In terms of cautions, if there are any lookalikes, you might confuse this with like a ash possibly in temperate areas. I can't think of anything that looks exactly like the leaves in tropical areas. But you can post in the notes if you find any lookalikes. But there is a caution in terms of toxicity. The flowers are edible or used as a tea when they're raw or fresh. The berries need to be cooked to make a jam or syrup to be edible, or they can cause some gastric upset. However, the leaf and sometimes the twigs uncooked can be quite toxic, so you want to avoid using those uncooked. I'll get into the use of the leaves in a second. So that is cautions. In terms of cultivation, it kind of pops up randomly in our garden. If you zoom down here, you'll see a bunch of seedlings coming up from berries that the birds ate and just kind of pulled out. So it seems to spread pretty easily, and you can dig these up, although they do have deep roots, and give them to friends if they want to grow them. But just put it in the wettest part of your garden, and it does fine in the shade. You can see it's under a passion fruit or lilikoi vine and a banana, so it's not getting full sun at all. So elder, in terms of cooking, is a great antiviral. It's been shown to be effective against H1N1, which is another family of viruses from the coronavirus, but hopefully it will have some cross-reactivity. It hasn't been tested yet against COVID-19. I like to use the dry flowers here because you can take them on a plane very easily and just ask for some hot water and have a tea of that, and then you're preventing the viruses from spreading when you're cooped up on a plane with inhaling other people's breath. And they taste really good. They have a slight kind of anisey, fennelly smell and taste, so it's not hard to drink a lot of tea of that. It's a little bit harder to bring the elderberry syrup or jam on a plane, of course, because it has to be under 3 ounces, so that's why I prefer the flowers, but they are equally effective as far as I know in terms of preventing viruses. So then there is and that's the most important thing. It's good for prevention. If you think you have a virus, a lot of people are saying online that the elderflower can exacerbate it, and it's better to use a tincture of the leaves. But that is a more complicated preparation that I don't want to get into here, so you should look up elderflower leaf tincture as an antiviral online if you want to get into that level. Because raw, the leaves and twigs can be quite toxic. So again, don't use these in any form raw. And since we're all stuck at home right now and we can't go out to bars and hang out with our friends, another really fun way to have the elderflower is in a liquor like this. This is the Saint Germain. This has become pretty ubiquitous in most bars and liquor stores these days. It used to only be common in Europe, where it's known as Fleda in Sweden, or Holunda in Germany, or Sauco in Spain. You can make a delicious cocktail with this and a couple of the other antivirals that I'm going to talk about in future videos, like shiso or perilla leaf, turmeric and holy basil and stinging nettle and thyme, which are other good antivirals to combine this with. But again, I'm only a doctor of ethnobotany. I'm not a medical doctor, so you want to research everything about these antivirals before you go using them all. But I just want to give you some tools of what you can find locally to help stave off the diseases. And I'll be doing future videos on those other plants and discussing how to use them, as well as some other plants to help you feel better in what might feel like these end times. So let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comments, and hope you can subscribe and keep tuning in, and stay healthy and safe.